Continuing my dive into obscure Japanese cards that were never released in the US, perhaps some of the most obscure are from the Pokemon Snap Best Photo Contest. I mentioned one of these cards in my video about base set Pikachu. It got a reprint as one of these Best Photo Contest cards. I mentioned in that video that no one's really sure how many of these were actually printed. All we know is that 20 of each card was sent to the winning photographers. So I tried to dig a little deeper, find out more information about these cards, and oh man, it is hard to find concrete information on this stuff. What we do know is that in 1999, Corocoro magazine in Japan held this contest, the Best Photo Contest. So you would get on Pokemon Snap, take the best photos possible, print them out, and then mail them into Nintendo. There was a contest to see who could send in the most creative photos, and the winners would receive copies of Pokemon cards that had these photos for the art. From this contest, there were 5 winners, and so there were also 5 special Pokemon cards printed. A little later, TV Tokyo had a variety show called 64 Mario Stadium, and they held the exact same contest, which chose 5 brand new winners. So in total, 10 variant cards of these Pokemon were printed. For each of these 10 variant cards, 20 copies were sent to the winners. There was no way to obtain these outside of winning the contest. Really, the only way that the mainstream audiences even knew that these cards existed were because they were printed in what collectors call the Silver Bible, which was a Japanese guide that presented every single TCG card printed in Japan between 1996 and 2000. Strangely enough, the photos included in this guide aren't completely accurate. If you notice, some of the cards have some Japanese text in the very bottom right hand corner on the yellow border, but not all of these cards feature that. Collectors later found out that every single one of these cards does include that text, even though some of these photos don't include that. The best first-hand knowledge I could find on these cards was from Barney Ludkins, so I will put a link down in the description for his personal story about tracking down these cards and collecting them. So let's briefly look at each of these cards individually. From what I could find, Gyarados is considered to be the rarest and hardest to track down of all of these cards. Not only that, it's the only evolution card that got a Pokemon Snap variant, and I've seen estimates of its value to be over $5,000. And if you play Pokemon Snap, you'll probably notice across these photos, they're not even really like the photos that would get you the most points, but they seem to embody what the Pokemon Company wanted to show with the artwork on the card about each of these Pokemon the best. Much like this Pikachu, it just exudes fun and personality and really gets across the way that Pikachu's portrayed in the anime. Not only do all of these cards have a unique set symbol, which is a little camera as you can see there, they also have the photo winner's name down where the illustrator's name would normally be on each of the cards. From what little information I could scavenge, I think that Poliwag is probably the most common of the 10 cards. I've actually seen a couple of these on various websites that have been PSA graded. There's even a Mint 10 graded Pokemon Snap Best Photo Poliwag, which the owner boasts as the only one of those that exists in the entire world. And he's probably correct in that assumption. You know, as far as anyone can tell, the only copies that were ever printed of these cards were the 20 that were sent to each winner. And of those 20 that came out in 1999, the surviving amount of cards is estimated to be in the single digits now. Which is why each of these cards is valued individually at about $3,000 each minimum. The only information that's out there about who actually owns these cards is the original winners' names, or the collectors out there that are open about what cards they actually have in their collection and what they've been graded by PSA. The starter trio variants are probably my favorite, and all 3 of these came from the 64 Mario Stadium contest, and they all seem to capture the same kind of imagination and personality that the original base set prints of each of these cards has. For comparison, here's each of the original base starters with the Pokemon Snap Best Photo variants. I really like that each of them kind of identifies their own biome and different part of this Pokemon world that they live within, which also provides a sort of reference for how each one behaves and what kind of personality they have. So far, all of the Pokemon shown are relatively easy to get a decent picture of in Pokemon Snap, but I can vouch that Chansey and Articuno in particular are much harder to get a decent close-up photo, especially in a really good pose, much like this Chansey that's about to drop its egg. It's also worth noting that out of the 10 cards, 5 of them are water types, and of those 4 have been part of the Rain Dance deck archetype that was huge at the time, those being Magikarp, Gyarados, Squirtle, and Articuno. And before you jump into your collection and start thinking that you have a $3,000 card, you should know that there was a Pokemon Snap Pikachu variant printed, but it was a Black Star promo and is only valued at around $5. The US did have its own best photo contest, although no special cards were awarded. Instead, we got this.
Today's assignment, photograph the elusive Pokemon. How do you do it? You're gonna be fast. Ah, missed him.
And you better be good. Great pictures. That's the name of the game in Pokemon Snap. You can go to a participating Blockbuster store, print out your best shots, grab an entry form, and mail it to Nintendo's Take Your Best Shot contest. The best shot wins an Australian safari for 4, and there's lots of other great prizes. Many will enter, few will win.
Hang on, it's gotta be fun.
Pokemon Snap. Take your best shot.
The chosen winner did get that Australian safari, and first place prizes went out to a lot of people as well, where they got an expensive camera and a check for $100, and then also second place got a bundle of a Game Boy Color and Pokemon Yellow. The latest listings I could find for any of these cards were from 2017, so the current value isn't really known. There aren't any on eBay up right now, but I do love taking on these mini research projects where I try to get as much information as possible. So if there's a topic regarding the TCG or early Pokemon games that you would like to know more about, let me know and I'll take another deep dive for a video. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content that I'm putting out, make sure that you like, comment, share, and I will see you next video.